Welcome to another episode of Checking In. My name is Nikki Check, your host, and in studio with me today is Myrna Stark. Thank you very much for joining me, Myrna.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks.
So I have, I've known you a decade?
Oh gosh, nope. We haven't been here that long.
Okay.
But about this will be year 7, actually.
You're year 7.
Yeah. So I guess you're close to it.
Okay.
On that side.
Okay. Well, it's a compliment. It feels like I've known you forever. Okay. So, Myrna, you're in Kelowna now for 6 or 7 years. Your communications is your passion,
profession,
job.
Yes.
Yet I often hear you taking the mic and speaking under the umbrella of agriculture. And then you're here with me today to actually shine a spotlight on the Invest Kelowna, or the Central Okanagan Economic Development Commission connector program. So that really leans into immigration. So words, communication, growing things, and people from other places. Can you help me connect some dots?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
It's been an interesting career path, and one that I think reflects back on the connector program, which is, you're not going to go into one job at this time of your life and be that for the rest of your life.
Agreed.
So we'll get back to that, about how that rolls into being a connectee in the program.
Connectee?
Yeah. So, but my career, my first love was actually reporting, and I was a television news reporter for 10 years. And so that's where the communication part comes, and then, switch to the communication side. Did that for over a decade at Farm Credit Canada, which is in agriculture, right?
There it is.
So there's the communication in agriculture for sure. Okay. And a passion for that sector because of the people, because of the innovation, because of the tech, because it feeds us, because it's
literally
it's all these things that I think people maybe forget these days when you have other sectors like AI and things that are very now, and I call them sexy things. They are hot topics. Sometimes some people forget, I think, that we need to eat, and our food comes from the farmers.
So thank you for championing agriculture.
Yeah, so that's my little plug.
Us.
That's my little plug.
Yes.
And then the connector program, how it fits actually is connecting people is about communicating. That's how I look at it. It's about encouraging people to network, encouraging them to find their skills, to be able to talk about their skills in a way that excites people or gets them thinking about, where could these folks fit into our economy? How do their skills fit? So while you still have to have a skill set, talking about it and how you communicate that and work with people and meet people and how you present, all those are communication and networking skills. So that's kind of the path. I could go way more deep into how the path came to be, but that's enough.
That's enough.
Yeah.
So that makes a world of sense to me. So let's dive into the COEDC, or Central Okanagan Economic Development Commission connector program. Mm-hmm. How long has this program been running?
So it started in 2018 as a pilot.
Okay.
It was
with you?
No.
Okay.
It was someone else, actually. Okay. And that's a funny story if you want the story.
Yeah.
So the old me in this position was Dustin Balkan, who you'll know.
I know Dustin.
Yeah, of course, you'll know Dustin. Rebellious Unicorn. Yes. So.
Adore Dustin. Okay.
So he actually was the connector when I applied for this program. I came to the city as a newcomer. I didn't know, I knew I was doing some writing, but I was missing people. And I'm like, what am I going to do here? I have these skills. It's a different career path in my life. I was done with sort of corporate world. It was like, what was I going to do to contribute? And Dustin and I met. And I said, I have these communication skills, I have passion for agriculture. And he said, you need to meet Corey Griffiths. Because our agriculture person who does our contract work at the Economic Development Commission, she's moved on. And we have this spot, and I know, she's looking for someone. And I ended up getting a contract that I've had since then.
Through connecting.
Through a connection.
Right?
I would have never known about that position ever. And, just the right place at the right time with the right person. And Corey was lovely. She gave me a chance.
She is.
And, we had a meeting, our first meeting, and it's like we just connected. You know what? Sometimes that just happens. It's like almost a miracle. I don't know what it is. It's like the universe
trusting the universe.
puts you on the same plane. And so then when the contract for the Connector program came up in 2019, so someone left that role, and I was like, wow, that just sounds like, gee, it was so helpful to me, and I think this would really fulfill me at this point in my career journey and also help people. And I've been there, and I'm from Canada, and I know what it was like to come here and not know anyone. And you know how connected this community is.
Very.
Yeah, really connected. It's like us, I don't know, I call it a small town. I mean, it has a big city personality. Yeah. But it really is a small town in the business
Lots
community.
of businesses done off tailgates. Yeah.
Yeah, so much.
Yeah.
So much. And so, that's when I started with the program. And we really have built it up since then. So, Dustin did a lot of the setting it up and getting things ready. And then the actual client intake more has become my role.
So you are the keeper of the Connector program. And then you have people that volunteer in the community, or who are the participants in this, and how does it all work?
How does it work? So we have two things, connectees and connectors.
Okay.
So connectees are the clients or the people that we serve, and the connectors we have about 60 formal ones these days in different sectors of business who volunteer their time to meet with a connectee. And they meet with them for, we say, about 45 minutes. Sometimes they give them more. It depends how much they have in common. To give them insight into usually the sector of work that they're interested in or looking to be, employed in, and then offer them 2 or 3 connections, introductions to other people in the sector. So the idea is, I don't know, it's like that old commercial, like you tell two friends and so on and so on. And I know I'm too old for that commercial reference now because people don't know the commercial anymore. Look up the Fabergé, I think it's Fabergé shampoo commercial.
Yes.
Tell two friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's like Inspector 12 on the Fruit of the Loom. Do you remember? Oh my gosh.
No.
You guys, YouTube Inspector 12. Okay. So we have 60 connectors.
Yep. Formal ones.
Okay.
So formal means they've really agreed to participate. And then I have to say the program, and I'm blessed with a whole list of other people who now I've connected with, met at different functions, who are pretty open to if I call them up and say,
if you
hey,
ask,
I've got this right person, I think you'd be a really good connection. Would you take a meeting? And 99.9% say yes. So it's about, as I build my network, then you also know people. And then on the connectee side, we really are focusing on newcomers to the community. So that can be you just come here because you want to live here. That could be a trailing partner. So for the business community, you hire one partner, and then the other partner is really looking for work. So that, and then students who are coming out of post-secondary education, who are maybe looking for their, break-in. It tends, I don't know, I see them more at a, 4th year coming out of school or graduates. I see a lot of people who have a master's or a PhD in something, or have upper year level of experience at school. But really it's open.
So newcomers, that's fascinating. If we look at Kelowna's the fastest or one of the fastest growing cities, that is going to be a combination of all these factors and all these things. So we've got an enormous amount of newcomers coming in, and that can be that interprovincial transfer in. So someone from the east thinks it's too cold and comes to the west.
Me
Red
from
Rover,
Saskatchewan
Red Rover.
wanted to come over. Yep, that's me.
Or it can be immigration from other countries. So again, really open to newcomers coming into the community. The trailing partners I find so fascinating, and I didn't know its naming protocol as that. When we moved here in 98, took a transfer with the bank, and any of the new clients to me, the clients on my portfolio that I would meet, they'd say, "Oh dear, did your husband get a job too?" So like 98, there was no getting jobs for two in a family. You were lucky to secure a single job. So trailing partner, I find, is fascinating that that's still a thing today.
Yeah, and it can be both, right? It's either or it can be a boyfriend, girlfriend situation. It can be
trailing partner.
Yeah, trailing partner. It really is that person who wants to live here and has someone here already that has a job.
And then the student part I do find really interesting because, and I won't be able to name the year, but I know there was an intention in this city to increase our number of grads out of OC and UBCO that actually stayed here. So we knew we had to change the city, change some of the things that we had here with the intention of having them stay. So these students that are fourth year, they're typically OC and UBCO, or are they students coming in part of that newcomer trailing part? Yeah,
the
okay.
answer is both. And the student piece is interesting because it's sort of, this program was born out of OYP. So the Okanagan Young Professionals was really Invest Kelowna's first foray, which was about, yes, exactly what you said, keeping young people here, employing them here, trying to grow our younger population. Because that has benefits for all of us.
Huge.
Yeah. So, and now, it's just expanded because we are seeing more immigration. We are seeing more people come. Their stories are just fascinating. People's stories of how they get to be here and why. We do see a lot of people come to Kelowna, and I say we. I mean, in general, the population is seeing people come here that, much like me, know the area or have heard about the area and go, wow, that's a beautiful place to live. I think I'd like to live there. And, and then
we figure it out or try and
figure out what we're going to do here. Yeah, exactly.
So, Myrna, as it pertains to the Connector program, can you touch on or share anything around what you currently hope or need for the program? Do you need more connectors? Do you need more connectees? Do you need more awareness on the program? What's a need or an ask you have for the program, or no ask, just education?
I think some of it is education. So we don't broadly advertise this program because right at the moment it's me and it's part-time. So it isn't like we can get everybody their first job at a fast food chain. That's not what this is. I find that people come through referrals. That's often the case. There is there's information online if you Google the right thing. And then our connectors are sending people my way. Past connectees have now become connectors. They're sending people my way.
Oh, that's fascinating. Pay it forward.
And so, it's sort of
maturing.
Maturing, maybe that. Yeah, there's a good word. I was going to say growing esoterically, like it kind of just grows itself. And we're seeing, typically I'm making about 40 connections a year.
Okay.
Between people. We sort of say we guarantee to try and get you one. It's not magic, and so people come for all sorts of reasons. And one of the challenges is, people come with an idea and thinking that there's a lot of manufacturing in this region.
Interesting.
And compared to other regions, mining head offices are in Kamloops. So manufacturing is a challenge. And then you say, well, there are some places, but they're out of the city. People want to generally live in the city because all the amenities are here. I'm looking out your beautiful window, which no one can see on camera. Sorry about that.
It's behind us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they come and yeah.
Myrna, do you have a story that like sits with you in your heart that is memorable or impactful, or when you're not just feeling it, you kind of pull that out and it recharges you?
So I'm very blessed because I have quite a few of those stories. And they range from, thank you for just being there, having the program here, because many people across Canada have not heard of this program, although it is connected arm's length to a national program that was set up in Halifax.
I did see that online.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are about 30 cities that have, and rural communities that have these programs, but it's not broadly understood, and we all have different nuances in who we take and whatnot. So, but I think that we, stories. Go back to stories, Myrna. So there's lots of good stories, but here's one that was happened that is sort of the intersection of my life. I'm out talking to a winery operator about their crop, and he says, well, I think we're at a point where we kind of probably need someone to help us with marketing because, we're not, the space isn't ours, social media, etc. A few weeks later, I get a connectee who's like, I really want to start in marketing. And I'm like, I think this just might be a fit. And I'm not an employment specialist. I'm not an HR specialist. This is matchmaking at its finest.
Okay.
I phoned the winery operator and said, hey, I have this person who I think might really work for you. Student coming out of UBCO. She's really hungry for work. I think she's with it. And he hired her. She worked there for 2 years.
Oh,
and so those are those are the stories that happen way more often than people know of here in this community, much like it happened to me. But how do you publicize that? You don't really.
But I think there's a message in here. So again, we know there's finite time for you within the Connector program, but I do think it is, if I may, a responsibility of all. We want to be a welcoming city. We want to be a city that helps someone else get their start or helps them if they're having a difficult time finding opportunities within certain sectors. We all have now I'm going to date myself. We all have a Rolodex, and I think many and most of us are happy to share it. So a challenge probably put out to anyone watching this is possibly reach out to you to be a connector, or just be a connector on your own, and post out that your space or your lane is X, and you're happy to introduce or welcome or inform. You're happy to take a coffee and help someone learn about a certain sector. So
yeah, I love that. I think we use LinkedIn here a lot. So one of the things the program asks is that people be on LinkedIn. Not everyone is on it, and not everyone is using it. But in this community, the people who are on it are using it. And often if I can't get them on the phone or I can't get them on email, I can shoot them a note on LinkedIn and they respond like
so fast.
that.
Yeah.
And so while we don't have a LinkedIn channel for the
The program?
The program, yeah, just because it takes time to manage it.
You bet it does.
So I kind of consider mine the pseudo channel. And so I ask everyone if they want to connect with me, they can connect with me. And then I have a lot of connections. So you can scope out everyone else. And if I can make an introduction to someone, I'm really happy to do that. If, if the people on the other end are open to it. And again, most people are. Because it's this sense of helping someone. And we've all had a hand up somewhere in our journey along the job, even when you're 22.
You bet. Yeah. Myrna, thank you so much for coming in and talking to me about the Connector program. And love having you in studio. And I hope, I know you're very connectable on LinkedIn. And I hope people reach out to you and don't overwhelm your DM, but I hope you'll get some questions and some more participation from others in the community.
Thanks. Can I just plug the investkelowna.com connector is the website.
Okay.
And that has an awful lot of information on it. And so, including the applications and whatnot. And don't get scared about the application. It's fast. You can do it in 10 minutes. Okay. It's just, that's how we track. And, that's how you get funding, right? Because you have to track things. So.
Okay. So investkelowna.com/connector.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Thank
Perfect.
you so much for this.
Thanks, Myrna. Thank you.